So I guess we're live. Yep, now we're live. Perfect. Um, I wanted to take the blur off of this thing. It's just gonna be the way that is. So I want to be sharing. So good evening, happy Sunday evening, the 5th of January. Um, I want to. I'll be doing a lot more lives and videos this year. And I wanted to go over the new technology that I think anybody can use to be more productive. I am going to, and they've changed so much. So just so you'll know that everything in technology, everything is always changing. And so it, some of the stuff is easy and some of the stuff is not so easy. So what I wanted to do here was to share my screen. Over here, let's see, continue watching while you browse. No, I don't do that. Um, let's see, so I'm looking for the share. That's video. We're live over here. The share doesn't, live over here. And the share is, I want to share a screen. Does it let me share a screen? Um, Give me 1 second because we'll be talking about, we will be talking about ChatGPT. And just, I wanted to get you guys over here to show you ChatGPT. So let me get this over here. Nah, I want that there. So where is it? You message, why is it doing that? So if you haven't figured out by now that working with technology, you always got to figure out like, well, why did it do that? Why did it do that? And what I want to do in this event, I wanted to share with you um, I wanted to share my screen so that you guys could see my ChatGPT. And it is not cooperating. Let me see what it says here. So most run up with that, with that. Um, and it is not cooperating. Let me see what it says here. So most run up with that, with that. Yeah, I should have tested it before I went live because that's the one thing about um, when you go live to make sure that you can do what you want to do. Um, I mean, um, Lee, where is this thing? Zoom's here. I comments. So rare. Yay! I'm going to share number one. Share. Oh, and I'm gonna want to be here. There you go. All right, so you should be seeing my screen now. And so again, so let's start this meeting over again. I'm going to be going for about an hour and a half, 90 minutes, primarily because I need to do some work on this, and I wanted to go ahead and might as well kill two birds with one stone by sort of kind of showing you what I'm doing as I go through and review what I've been doing. Um, it, so ChatGPT, I don't have all the dates and all that kind of stuff, but what I know is that it hasn't been that long, a year and a half, that sort of kind of came into the mainstream, and everybody was a little bit afraid of what what it would do and how it would do, and I know that the first time that I took it for a test drive, I was sort of kind of scared because I didn't know what it would do either. And I was asking dumb questions and I was doing different things. But so the first thing that I want to do is just sort of kind of show you the format of how this screen is. Again, I am going live through Zoom and going out to Facebook. So the people on Facebook ought to be seeing this. Um, and the move this down over here. And so what happens is that so this ChatGPT, you can get a free version that has limited, just like anything else, has limited functionality. And I used that for gosh, a long time. And I always feel like I'm getting cheated if I don't use the $20 a month one. So I got about, I don't know, if you're like me, you have a lot of $20 per month subscriptions. That's one of the reasons I like the subscription business because it's a tool you're gonna use every month. And you can, you not only can you pay for it, you use it, but at the same time you can use it to make income and money from home. And so I'll start with this. So here's my ChatGPT account. Right now, it has access to these models, 4.0 or 4.0, oh 01 mini, and there's some other, like the legacy model is this one. This is the oldest one that they had. But right now, I'm using this one because it's pretty good with everything that I need. I'm going to show you up here in this piece up here, um, in my settings first. So you go to chatgpt.com, get a subscription. Don't get a subscription, but you can get signed in and you can start playing around with it. So I want to go to customize, or is it set? It's the settings. So in settings, I like the dark theme because they're just, trying to take it easy on your eyes. And again, it knows what language you're speaking in and using. I do don't ever press that button there, delete all chats. You don't want to do that. Uh, this has a cool tool because you can text all your chats and you can export them and you can keep them in a text or PDF file for further reference. The personalization, uh, so it does keep tabs of what we talked about. And I can ask it, you remember when we talked about this book or we talked about this thing or the other? And I keep saying she's a she, but there's no she. It is what it is. But the memory's there. And um, and it helps me because I'll say something to it like, remember when we talked about this one concept or this one thing, and it'll go back into the memory and then come back and help me. It'll get back on a page with me, so we'll be able to talk together. And then here, let's see here. So the memory that's currently in there right now is this memory here. And what this does is that that I told it that I wanted to create content videos from books that I've read and analyzing the ChatGPT and applying what they call the ORID, objective, reflective, interpretive, decisional concepts. It's a tool that I got taught and learned about how to handle conversations, how to go through the just have a conversation. You know, what happened, what I think happened, what am I gonna do about what happened, and then any action steps that I'm going to take. But and then I also wanted to be talking on. I wanted to focus on older personal development books for a 90-minute video review. Primarily because one of the videos that I want to do, I want to leave these videos out there. Well, first off, because I'm sharing what I know and where I got the big bang for the buck when I started learning computers, personal development, business, and so I wanted to go through here and have ChatGPT help me coordinate and organize the books. It knows all the books, you know, and so I'll show you. I'll give you an example in a minute. Like I said, I want when it gives me answers, I want it to give me also practical exercises and a guide that people can get after our session. So what I'll do is that after this session, I'll put my notes together and put it into a document that I can share with anybody who wants it. And so you tell it what you want, you know, and I want to create courses for my Go High Level account. That's a system that I want to show you guys later. But in this Go High Level account, I can offer sprint courses. Those are free courses. They're a week long, you know, 1 hour a day, and you go out there and do it at your own pace. But here's the first thing. If you want to learn something, you got to take the time to do it. I can put all these courses out there. I can put all my knowledge out there. But at the end of the day, if you don't go use it, apply it, then it doesn't matter. And so that's the very first thing that everybody has to come to grips with is that you have to take action on the stuff that you want to get done. Okay? So these will be coming up soon, the sprint courses. I was going through some, so you know, part of me being in business and anybody that's in business, prospecting is a lot of our job. We're looking for people who need the solution that we have. So I have to go look for people that have that problem that my solution can fix. And so I was there's a trainer out there named Kim Klaver, and she's very sick. Hold on, man. Why did they come me? It's coming from. Hold on. Well, that was rude of it, huh? So let me get back over here. Get back to my screen. Now I gotta remember where I was at. I was over here. I was over. Where did it go? Oh, it's over here. Right here. So, hold on just once. Oh, shoot. Your phone won't charge if it's not connected. So just remember that. Give me 1 second. There it goes. Anyway, sorry for that. But anyway, the memory is important because you give it the instructions, it puts it in like a data bank for it to know. And I was telling you about Kim Claver, her approach. I told it that I wanted to be a master sorter, not a master hounder. And in prospecting, nobody likes to prospect and give, we want to solve problems. And so people that are in sales and or a business opportunity, that you have to ask people, are they looking for something like what we have? And we just have to do a lot of it. And so um, her approach is real simple. I would say something like she has a scale approach. She goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it that you save money on your health insurance? And then her approach is anybody with a 7, 8, or 9, or 8, 9, and 10. Those are the ones you talk to. Everybody else is not a potential prospect. So I want it to help me look for those questions, look for the objections. And so ChatGPT helps me with that. Same thing with Ray Higdon, is another trainer, and it goes out there and it'll help me create some scripts that I can use. And then like here, the human attention span is at 8 seconds. So right now everything is going fast. This is going to be a longer video, but the whole point of this is that I'm going to do it for an hour and a half, and then I'm going to get this video, and then I'm going to chop it up to make posts for my other projects. And so this is how you start feeding it, you know. And again, I tell it what I want, and it just goes into into its memory banks. And we've been talking a lot about Medicare too, because this year I turned 65 in March. So for that birthday speech, what does it have? It has a if you want these things read to you, so you can so a person that can't maybe visually is impaired, but it'll read it to you, read the replies. Let me show you an example of this.
Hi there. I just want to share how thrilled I am to work with you, and I can't wait to get started. So what's the game plan?
And so that's the tone and the voice of a person that is available to read these things. Data controls basically improve the model for everyone. Just means that I'm sharing my information and stuff that I do and I use, and that just helps us, build the database, the brain base, if you think about it. And then a profile. Let's see what it says here. Yeah, it just has my name. Sort of kind of simple there. I don't think I'm connected to anything. Oh, Google Drive. Oh, so yeah, so when you feed so I have a lot of documents on my Google Drive. And if you want to feed that document up into ChatGPT so it could be like an input into the chat, you can just connect it and then just upload your files. And so you get that. Multi-factor. Sometimes when everything now is it's about security. And so every once in a while, I don't know if you've been noticing on Facebook, it logs you out, you gotta log back in, you gotta put a code in. Same thing here, it does the same thing. And then I'm on a subscription, and that tells you what you can get for it. All right, so that's in settings. And then let me see what else is there anything major in here. Nope, that was it. So settings is done. We're done. And so 4.0, so let's just start down here so you can see some of these things. This gives you ideas of what it can do. Down here, these little things here. So like here, create an image. I'm just gonna say in this one, I want to create it. What have I been thinking about lately? That I always like to think, so I'm out here in El Paso, right? In El Paso sunset. And say I was looking for an image, it'll go out there and go and create one. Not too bad. I like it. Franklin Mountains in the distance, right back over here. Let me know if you like any adjustments or a different scene. And so, with things like this, you if you're stuck on imagination, if you're stuck on creativity, uh, using ChatGPT to solve a lot of problems. But I was telling my brother about uh, being able to have it create pictures like this. Now these are they're not going to be pictures like humans and all that kind of stuff, but it'll be images. It'll be and you'll see some more. I have some other ones that I have, and but I think it does a pretty good job of creating an image that you can describe. And you can, and if you want to, you can come up here and just say with horses in the background. And then it'll go generate. So again, you may think like, well, Rick, that's not too hard or whatever, but trust me, when you're trying to come up with something, an idea, it'll do it. I mean, it just took 30 seconds and it redid the picture. And then now you can download the picture here with this little arrow right there. And you can feedback to it to say, good picture, not so good picture. And then you can also, I'll use the voice here in a minute, and then let's see, yeah, good response, bad response. So you click good, it likes it, and you're done. So that's the part with creating an image. So you always want to start a new chat, because if you start doing everything in one chat, you'll mix up everything, and it not that it gets confused, but it can help. It can make some of your answers not too clear. So start a new chat, and you come down here. So some of these places here, not places, but some of these buttons, again, surprise me with a story about. Oh, no, here's the one. My horoscope for today. So it says, I need your zodiac, and okay. You can type as much as you want or as little as you want, and it'll go out and start searching webs and so it tells me to embrace my intuitive and creative nature. The moon's transition from your sign into Aries suggests it's an ideal time to transform your emotions into actionable steps. Engaging in artistic pursuits such as art or music can be particularly fulfilling. And then again, it tells me about setting clear boundaries in my relationships so that my days are my days. Not that I gotta go do this one thing over here, run over there, I gotta stay focused on my work. It says here, in your professional life, adopting a detailed and thorough approach to your task is essential. Ensure you have all necessary information before making decisions or digging deeper into projects. The meticulousness will help you navigate the day's challenges effectively. And then on a personal front, take time to relax and enjoy the company of loved ones, engaging in activities that bring you joy and comfort. A typical horoscope for Pisces. And then it has different places where it got here are the sources that I went and got that information. And then you can also say, how does this align with my personal development plans. And I'll say, so since I've been feeding it for almost a year now, it knows, um, again, like I said, this aligns perfectly with your desire to be decisive and disciplined in your daily activities. You know, as you get older, they say that you stop making decisions, you're hesitant to make decisions. You don't you lose not energy, but what's the word? Gusto for things. You know, you say, I've already lived my life, I'm good enough, I'm happy. And you gotta get to the point where um you gotta get to the point where you um know that life's not over until they put you in the ground. And so you got to keep going, got to keep going. So this is let's see. It says today's cosmic shift encourages you to turn your emotions into action steps. You know, it becomes your personal counselor. Decide. It puts in here action tip. Decide on 3 specific actionable goals for the day that align with your vision. Recording 1 short TikTok video, creating a quick outline for your Neville Goddard content, or posting a valuable prompt in your mastermind. And so, and then here, so these are, so again, I've been telling you about my personal development plans, what I want to do, what I want to work on. And so it knows some of these things. Number 2, the alignment of today's horoscope talks about engaging in creative pursuits. Again, activities involving creativity can be especially rewarding today. Just for you guys' info, I'm learning a couple of new tools that you have to be a little bit creative, because sometimes when they give you a piece of software, it might not work the way you want it to work. So you have to figure out, well, how am I going to do it, make it do what I need it to do? And so you play around with your imagination, you play around with your inputs and outputs. You just try to figure out how to make your project work. And so that's what I've been doing most of the day. Besides mopping, had to mop the floor today. And again, I want to go into this year as, teaching and creating engaging personal development content, primarily because at the end of the day of our lives, we got to give back. Giving back is about telling the stories, telling the things that happened to me in my 60 some odd years. And I wish my dad would have had this tool so he could tell me what happened in his life during this time. I talk a lot about that. Right now, everybody that's a baby boomer like me has a chance to put all your story out there, and you never know who's going to hurt. You never know who's going to help, not hurt. And so, so you want to use all the tools that we have to, document your life, add your value, try to make it to where you are not standing still. You should never feel like you're not capable, that you're not worthy, and you just need to, learning as a baby, learn how to take 1 step at a time and just keep going, and then before you know it, you'll be running in whatever endeavor you choose to do that. And then so here it talks about, there's a book that I like called At Your Command, and it's not that it's a hard book, but it's just a book that basically says, at your command, you decide what you want to do. Nobody else decides for you. And so, and that command center is always in your head, right? And so when you decide, I want to go do this, well, you already said it, go do it. Because you have to be able to be, like we were talking about, being aware of what things are getting in your way from not doing what you want to be doing. And so a lot of it has to do with just what is in your is in your head about what you think about what other people think about you, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. You want to just start doing something different, because if you don't start doing something different, everything's going to stay the same in your life. And it's okay to change. It's okay not to change. But if you want to expand your horizons, your knowledge, your skills, one of the things that we talk about here all the time is that you have knowledge, skills, and experiences. And the experiences are what make you unique. We can all learn the same stuff and we can get the same skills, but it's about your experiences that you've had in your lifetime that adds value to other people that may not have survived things that you have or created. So that's one of the things that I'm working with on working on getting the book into a form here where I can present it. And again, the presentation is one of the things that I learned a while back was that people stress out when they don't have resources. And I learned that stress is when your demands are greater than your resources. So what does that mean? That just means that you don't know how to handle things because you don't know how to answer the questions. I've been blessed to have the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I know how to handle situations now. And so I feel like my resources are way high. I know how to get tools. I know how to, do stuff manually. I know how to work the computer. I know how to talk on the phone. I know how to, so anybody can do that once you start figuring out that that's what you want to do. And so when I look at your command, it's telling me like today's energy is perfect for the flow activities that tap your imagination. And that's what I've been doing most of the day is working on my projects for my automation software. And there's other tools like Canva. And again, AI is out there too, so that it can help me move faster. It's almost like having a personal assistant, and I tell it that that's not what I meant. I got the idea for this from this book, and it'll go out there to research it and come back. And it'll help me organize all that stuff because I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that is going to help people learn in the future. And I heard something else today. There was a commercial on the radio that talked about a company. So I'm a substitute teacher. I think a lot of you know that. And so when I go into the classrooms, everybody's on a different page. Well, first off, they're all watching videos on phones now, so they've got real low attention spans. But what happened today was there's a company out there that has, if your kid was going to be doing bad in school, you'd want to get them a tutor, Well, there's a company out there that you put your kid's skill level, knowledge level, everything into the AI, and it'll tell him or her, it'll explain stuff in their terms, in the kids' terms. And I want to follow up with this tool or this AI because it's going to be part of school districts, or it should be, because it helps everybody at their individual level. And I know that when we're in school, there's kids that are advanced, some in the middle, some in the bottom, but everybody learns in their own way, in their own pace. And so with AI doing this, I think that might be a solution so that people can get their learning. Everybody learns. Nobody can say that they got left behind. Okay. Yeah. So I know that I tell it a lot to make my responses more in a storytelling way. And I'll show you some examples of that in a minute. Because people like to listen to stories. Basically, they don't like to listen to speeches. They don't like listening to, presentations. They like to hear stories. And so whenever I tell you a story about my brother, my daughter, my friends, it's because I want to get a point across, and you'll listen to a story and you You know, you won't listen. You'll be turned off as soon as I tell you about I read a book at your command, because a lot of people don't like reading books and they don't want to go backwards. They don't want to go read. But so I'm going to try to tell more stories this year. Um, Again, clear boundaries and detailed work, avoiding overwhelm. Um, I've I am, and I don't know if you are either, but I can't handle a lot of stuff. You know, I hang out with this group of people on Fridays, and when they start going crazy talking about stuff that just doesn't matter to me, I check out. I mean, I put them on mute and I start watching a TV show over here because there's just too much noise. And so, but then there's other days that we have great conversation, great conversations, and I stay in tune with them all the time because we're exchanging ideas, we're helping solve problems. You know, there was a time when we were talking, and I was telling one of the other guys um, that my ankles were swelling, and he goes, "Yeah, you know, I had that too." He goes, "Do you take this medication?" I go, "I do." He goes, I got off of that medication, and my ankle stopped swelling. And you know what I did? I stopped that medication, and my ankle stopped swelling. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do, and we do it through Zoom. If you don't know where El Paso's at, it is in the farthest west part of Texas that there is. I mean, I'm 40 miles away from, or 60 miles from New Mexico. And so I'm closer to New Mexico than I am to basically any other Texas city. And so we use Zoom a lot to communicate, to have group meetings, to have group conversations. We had a group New Year's Eve party after everybody did their things with their families. We came back on here and we sort of and just shared the year end stuff. Um, Again, and this thing, so it tells you here clear boundaries, detailed work, avoiding overwhelm. It tells you about block out time on your schedule where you focus solely on one task. Use the Pomodoro timer or Go High Levels task management system to keep track of your time efficiently. So it gives you all these ideas and again, work-life balance, doing that. So I hope that you saw that this is kind of cool, that it tells you, again, your horoscope today reinforces your core personal development goals, decisiveness, creativity, and balance. I'm all about balance. I hated working. I mean, I always said that I can always work more, but I can't get my time back. And so that might have been a bad thing in some cases, but I've enjoyed my life because I haven't stressed out about work. By staying mindful of your intuition and focusing on the one step at a time, you'll feel more aligned with your daily disciplines, create momentum toward your vision of success. And again, it asks you questions. Would you like to create an action checklist based on this for today? And so if I want to, I'll say, yes, create a checklist. And there it goes. So then I can, and I want to use the voice here in a minute. It knows, it knows about me because I've told it about stuff that get in my way. There's things that I can do naturally, like the color of my hair is natural. I can do it easy. Then there's stuff that when I get it, my toes curl, my head goes crazy. I can't do it. It's not that I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And so it knows about what my weaknesses are. And but check this out. Watch this. And hopefully you can hear it.
Personal development checklist for today, Pisces horoscope alignment. 1. Clarity and action steps, intuition plus decision making. Identify 3 priority tasks that align with your goals, e.g., TikTok content, sprint course outline, mastermind task. Use the 8-second rule to ensure your messages are direct and engaging. Check each piece of content for clarity. Complete 1 decisive outreach action, e.g., prospecting message, community post, or video call invite. Not 2, creative expression, content creation, personal branding. Design one creative piece for your content, e.g. Canva image, short TikTok, or inspiring quote. Review your Neville Goddard content with the Already framework and highlight at least one reflective or interpretive insight. Draft a post that tells a short story aligned with personal development or network marketing that demonstrates transformation. Trend 3, discipline and boundaries, avoiding distractions. Schedule 1 to 2 uninterrupted focus sprints, e.g. 30 to 45 minutes of focused work without distractions. Set a timer, e.g. 25-minute Pomodoro for any task that feels overwhelming or prone to multitasking. Say no to one distraction that could pull you away from your productive flow, e.g. unnecessary scrolling or overcommitting. Top 4, recharge and reconnect. Avoid burnout, mindset reset. Take a 30-minute break to relax, read, listen to music, or take a walk. Spend time with someone who inspires or energizes you. Call, text, or spend time in person. End your day with gratitude. Write down 3 wins or positive outcomes, no matter how small. Would you like to dive deeper into any specific task, such as how to structure your Already framework or create storytelling posts?
And so I can just leave it at that, and it'll, I can tell it to go further, and it'll go do it. But I'm just gonna leave it at that for a minute. But anyway, if you or have any questions right now, you can comment, and I'll see the comments. Let me see where I'll see the comments. Where would I see the comments? Give me 1 second over here. And I'll see if I can't, if I can't see those comments, and I can answer them, but you can, as long as you leave a comment, I'll get back to you again. If you know anybody that would like to see this or something like this, make sure that they know about this. I'm trying to see where we're going. Should be live right there. Let me see here. I'm live there. Oh yeah. So on my Facebook page, I'm on. Yes, I've been on 43 minutes now. Okay, so that's that. So now I'm going to take us over here to a new thing that happened in ChatGPT is that they were able to organize things now, because once you start going, start giving it ideas or asking for ideas, it's just you can go crazy. I got all these ideas and all these things that are going on here, and I'll cover those in just a minute. But they came out with something where you can put them in folders, which I think is pretty cool, because then once you're in the folder, it'll organize them and keep them all in here. So, I use Impact Health Sharing as my healthcare providers. And so whenever I ask a question about it, or how to, what else to see is it can answer a lot of my questions, because I put the guidelines in there. I put stories in there. I can use it for promoting it. And so I got that in there. I got my software stuff in here for my Genius Leads. And I got all this in here. But then, so let's go back over here for a minute. We talked about that one. So as you see, it keeps all the prompts and the answers that we happened over here. So there's this one. And then, but why isn't it coming? Then I got the sunset image. And then this is where I was asking it right before this live. I was asking it for a meeting title. And so this Unlocking Success with ChatGPT, my personal journey, I know you can benefit. And again, this is something that I could have put out there beforehand, but right now I'm in that practice mode, and I'm learning. So I'm doing a little things a little bit out of sequence, but it'll help you get all that organized. Um, so I'm going to go down here a little bit. Um, so this morning I listened to a podcast. Um, uh, I'm not a big podcaster. Let me know if you are. Um, but the podcast was about so Mel Robbins was the host, and she was interviewing this guy named Dr. William Lee. And as the title, so the title of the episode was, what was it here? Did I put it in here? Basically, it was about how to, oh yeah, eat this to lose fat, prevent disease, feel better now. And and so I wanted to know, what is this? You know, they always have these hooks. What is this? And so and I can't give you all the science, and I can't give you all the how-tos and all that, but what I did want to know is some of the stuff that as I was listening, I was wondering, you know how everybody's using the oh what the Ozempic to lose weight, but people are losing so much weight and they get a lot of side effects. And what I'm finding is that inflammation is the cause of a lot of our problems. You know, all our aches and pains and all um, our the lifestyle. Yeah, I'll be the first one to admit that, you know, I enjoy life. And but so now I still have a chance to live a long life. I still have a chance to live a healthy life. And I've been taking my medical stuff real serious because again, unfortunately, like my father, y'all might have seen the post that I had out there. My father died 25 years ago in January. As a matter of fact, on January 3rd. And so I know that when he died right after his 65th birthday. It's always been a thing in the back of my head, you know, am I going to go to my 65th birthday? Um, but his dad went to 78, so I'm looking at that one, 78. And then my grandmother made it to 100 and I want to say it was 103, 100 somewhere in there, in the hundreds plus. And so somewhere in here there's a long life gene. Um, but I want to stay. I didn't pay attention to this stuff when I was younger, but now I do. And primarily because I think of all the things that's happened to my body when I eat too much spicy food, and that's embarrassing for a Mexican to not be able to eat spicy food. I love my, you know, jalapenos every once in a while, but if anything's too spicy, I'll get a case, what do they call it? The gout. The gout. If you had the gout, leave me a comment in there and tell me that you had gout. And so I always look for stuff like, I always, I ask ChatGPT, like, what's a natural remedy for the gout? And if you don't know this tip, celery. Celery is a natural gout fighter reliever. And so what I do is if I know I'm going to eat something spicy because we're having a party or something, menudo especially, I grab some celery stalks and cut them up, and the day of and the day after I eat it, I eat those celeries, and I don't have the pains that, or I don't get the gout. But if I don't do anything and just eat the menudo, oh, the next morning could be murder on my ankles and my heels and the toes where it flares up. So anyway, I was really getting into the podcast, and I asked ChatGPT, I go, you know, so tell me more about this. Give me a daily menu for this lifestyle that this Dr. Lee recommended. You know, he talks a lot about metabolism, the good fat, the bad fat. He talks about fasting a little bit, and you can go find him on this one. But mine was on a podcast. This is on a YouTube video, and again, he he has ideas in his head. Not that he's made up ideas, he studied this stuff, ways to reverse aging, prevent disease, and live longer. And so one of the things is that, we have to fight off diseases. We have to make sure our cells are taking in the good nutrients and not the bad ones. We got to keep those cells hydrated. But anyway, so one of the things that I always ask about, create a daily menu for this lifestyle, primarily because, it's real easy to, especially in El Paso, to have a burrito, to go get a burrito. And they have the world's best burritos here. They have the world's best food here. But I know that I want to cut back on all that stuff. And you can still have it, once or twice a week, but not every single day and all that kind of stuff. But I like to have, and because it's funny, I like my steaks and all that, but I'm starting to like just simple foods, And so and I look for foods that have anti-inflammatory properties to sort of kind of put the food guards up, the people, the nutrients that'll fight off any kind of inflammatory properties of food. And so it tells me, yeah, so it just did a real simple menu, because I'm just trying to figure out how can I take what I need to do and how am I going to summarize it so that I can go do the grocery store and get all my stuff. And they talked a lot about apples today in the I eat apples, I love apples, but they said the better one is kiwis. I've never eaten kiwis on a regular basis, but kiwis help you start the natural metabolism going. Dark chocolate, 70% or higher, uh, kicks off your metabolism. I do salads and stuff. What else is in here? Yeah, I've never been a lentils or chickpeas kind of guy, but I can take it. I'll do it. Let me see here. Ooh, 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds. Never heard of that. But so anyway, so it was able to give me this menu, and I go, I can do this. I can eat better. This is gonna be good, right? And again, at our age, or my age, and any ages, you got to start hydrating. And again, it's just that for detox, water with slices of lemon, cucumber, or ginger. Now, see, yeah, so lemon is always the one that, water with lemon, water with lemon. But if I can do the water with cucumber, that'd be good too. And I haven't messed around with ginger, so I don't know how that would be like. And so did that. So that was that. And then, and so this year coming up, I'm going to be working on a project for a company called Zenzino Balance Oils. So I didn't know about omegas, omega-6s and omega-3s. And again, it supports your omega balances, support brain function, inflammation control, and cardiovascular health. And so it tells me that omega-3, we have to get it from fatty fishes, nuts, walnuts, flax seeds are excellent sources of the plant-based omega-3. And again, the Zenzino Balance Oil, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, helps you. So let me just start with that. Zenzino, a friend of mine called me up and said, "Hey, Rick, have you heard about this company called Zenzino?" Actually, he said, "What's your number?" I go, "What's my number of what?" And he was telling me about that people's omega balances are out of whack. That there's only should be a ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s. Omega-6s, we usually get those from this food that we eat. Let me see how it goes here. Hold on a second. I'll give you that. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to say, give me So I know a lot of you guys know that I know Big Al Schreider. Um, and let's see if this will work here. So I told it to, gonna go all the way down here to the bottom, but okay, yeah, so right here. So yeah, so the Big Al storytelling method comparing omega-6s and omega-3s. Again, he's a good storyteller. He uses analogies, metaphors, and simple comparisons to make complex ideas. So if you know somebody that pick their brains, you can just put it in here and let it know who who you want to surround yourself with. And here's an example of how you can use this method to explain the difference between omega-6 and omega-3s. So I took a test. So in Zeno, so my friend said, Rick, do you know what your omega numbers are? I go, no, I don't even know what the heck you're talking about. He goes, well, there's omega-3s and there's omega-6s, and there's supposed to be a balance, a ratio, a good ratio. But most Americans don't even pay attention to that ratio, and their racial balances are way out of whack. And so I'm not going to do my numbers on this live, but I'm going to be bringing them out. But this is how a simple explanation can be. Imagine your body is a neighborhood of houses, and every day fires start because of little accidents like sparks from a grill or a lightning strike. Okay. Characters, the omega-6 fats, they're the arsonists. They're the troublemakers who start small fires here and there. You need them to light campfires, but when they're out of control, they cause chaos. Omega-3 fats are the firefighters. They show up with hoses to put out the fires and prevent damage. So we have these two omegas in our bodies, right? And the problem is that we take in more omega-6 fats than we do the omega-3 fats. And so our omegas are out of balance. So if you have too many arsonists, omega-6, and not enough firefighters, omega-3s, fires spread and cause damage to your cells, leading to inflammation, weight gain, and even chronic diseases. Most people in America have a neighborhood full of arsonists and barely any firefighters. That's why they feel tired, bloated, or run down. And I go, well, that sounds interesting. Tell me more. And he goes, well, there's a company out of Norway. That's a little check mark for me, Norway. And then he goes, and you take a blood test, another good check mark, blood test. And they have this oil that, if you take it for 4 months and then you take another test and you'll see the difference. I'm on my 3rd month. So the 4th month's coming up and I'm going to report out the results. But I can already tell you that I'm feeling the difference of drinking the oils in the morning. And so one of the things that so I was telling you, so I worked for a company from Norway for 10 years, and I love Norway. The Norwegian people are healthy people. They take their testing seriously. So when they say that they're going to take a blood test from your finger and you put on a little card, we send it from here, it goes to Florida, and from Florida, they send it to Norway. And they test it over there. And in about 2 weeks, you get the results, and it tells you what your scores are. And mine was pretty bad. It was like 50 something it should be like 6 to 3 or 3 to 6. Mine was like 50 to 1 or something. It was real crazy. And so I'm hoping that they're going to be coming down. And then, so let's go back to the story. If you have too many arsonists, omega-6, and not enough firefighters, omega-3, fires spread and cause damage to your cells, leading to inflammation, weight gain, and even chronic diseases. Most people in America have a neighborhood full of arsonists and barely any firefighters. That's why they feel tired, bloated, or run down. So what are we going to do about it? But when you add enough omega-3s, like the ones in salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, or my favorite, Zeno Balance Oil, you call in more firefighters. They don't just put out today's fires, they patrol the streets, keeping your body calm and balanced every single day. So the punchline. So would you rather live in a neighborhood with way too many arsonists or one where the firefighters are always ready to keep you safe? And then is 1 tablespoon of Zinzino oil a day. Make sure your firefighters outnumber the arsonist. And that means fewer aches and clearer thinking and a healthier heart. This reminds me of an article in that podcast. That guy had a lot of good stories about how your metabolism works, how to make it start automatically, just by fasting. Um, get it to work by doing. There's certain foods that you can have it kick in to start metabolize, have metabolism going all the time. And so I'll put something out on that in a little bit later. And so that's why this works. The arsonist firefighter metaphor. And this is good for all you other networkers out there. You can have it create stories that you can work with, change, put to your words, but that convey a meaning to people that is going to be easier than a presentation of 44 PowerPoint slides. All right. So the arsonist firefighter metaphor simplifies complex scientific terms, inflammation and fatty acids, into something visual and relatable. The conflict and resolution keep people engaged and wanting a solution to their own fire problem. Big Al's method encourages the emotional close, making the list, or feeling empowered to take action. And so it knows that part of my market, or what I'm trying to reach, are corporate professionals. I did 30 years at Shell, I did another 10 years with DNV, and there's a lot of people at the corporate level. And I could, employees are great, jobs are great, but I like the balance of having a job and a side hustle, because when I left DNV, I was able to walk into something else. Actually, forget that. I went to another company that I did for 10 years. So the funeral business. But when I got tired of them, I was able to walk into my own business, right? And so it helped me a lot to have that started. One of the things that they used to say, it's better to not have it. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And that was both in terms of an opportunity and of funeral plans. So here I'm going to have it. Yes, give me another analogy. Oh, all this stuff is coming out on the screen here. So the project team versus the overload. Have you ever been on a project where one part of the team is doing everything they can to solve problems, but the rest of the team is actually causing chaos and making things worse? Been there, done that. Again, it goes back to the characters, your omega-6 fats, the overload of emails and demands. They come in fast and furious, creating stress. You need a few requests to keep the work moving, but when it's too much, the team becomes overwhelmed. Omega-3 fats, the calm, strategic team members who focus on solutions, reduce stress and make sure things get done without unnecessary chaos. So here's a conflict of the story. Now imagine this, you got 10 team members constantly sending urgent messages, but only one person is trying to stay calm and problem solve. That one calm worker is overwhelmed, and instead of fixing problems, they're getting buried. That's why your body on too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3, too many stress signals, not enough peacekeepers. Resolution. When you bring in enough omega-3s through healthy fats like salmon, walnuts, and the right supplements, it's like hiring a team of top-tier project managers who take control, quiet the noise, and keep the work flowing smoothly. Suddenly, instead of chaos, you have a high-functioning, efficient team where every process works together. So would you rather work in an office where 9 out of 10 workers create problems, or where everyone works like a high-performance team? That's what omega-3 does for your body. It helps balance the chaos and keeps everything running smoothly. So 1 tablespoon of Zinzino balance oil a day is like hiring more top performers for your team. It brings the balance back to so you're energized, focused, and inflammation free. And again, it tells you as a as a student of the business and of business, it tells you why this works. Um, Back in Houston, I had a good friend who was like a mentor to me. And if you've been knowing me for a while, his name was Peter Haskell, and he was a change manager. Well, he was a change manager teacher. His whole focus was on processes. And he always said, you got to trust the process. And and this is sort of kind of what this is here is that you have to trust the process of healing. You have to trust the process of, the tablespoons of oils, and because every day we're hassled for stuff. And we've been out of school for a while now. We go back to school on Wednesday, and my life has been under calm. It's been real calm. Well, it hasn't been that calm, but it's calm enough. And the I can just see it coming up that we're going back to hectic schedules on Wednesday. So this analogy connects with corporate professionals, and I've been trying to reach corporate professionals because it's about having something in common: workplace overwhelm and productivity struggles. It shows the cause of the problem, and we have a solution. Then the emotional relief from it, imagining a calm, efficient work environment makes people want to bring the same balance to their health. And so this is what ChatGPT that I work with on a daily basis. Because if I hear something, I come to my ChatGPT, I'll open up a new chat, and I'll come in here, and if it's a company name or something, I'll put it in here, and then it's just a starting point. It's a brainstorming. So brainstorming, if you've never done brainstorming before, nothing's off the table. Every input counts. And so if you've ever been in a place where there's always somebody that, no, that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work. Brainstorming rules are everything goes, because you never know what might come out. And you don't want to have that person that has an idea not contribute that idea because he's hearing all, people are talking over him or them. And so it helps you brainstorm. And so, like I said, this it helps me talk about different things. Let's see, what else I got over here? There was somebody, let me see here, story brand framework, what's this one about? Oh yeah, so you can type in, yeah. So you can take a post. I have a friend of mine, Dennis Carganilia, and he's a good writer, but to me, it's a lot of writing, right? And so what I do is I copy it, put it into my ChatGPT, and then I tell it to summarize what he said in this long post. And again, it gives it, yeah. And so we're working on a 90-day challenge to use AI more and more, and to use it and learn about it and figuring out what it can do for you. So if you want to know about that, let me know, because we have a school community that we're part of, and I'd like to share with you what we're doing. And in there, it's going to be an AI fun course, and Dennis, for as young as he is, he's a pretty wise guy. Not the wise guy like the wise guy, but he's a knowledgeable guy. And he's old. He's aged on his years here. So here, he put all this in. Until next time, party on away. But that time he had lost me all the way back up there at the top. So I told it to give me the, let's see how to put it up here. So I copy pasted and I said summarize with top 7 points. And then I pasted what I had copied from his post. And then it came down here with this top 7 key points. You got feedback from a guy named Greg Davison. Greg is a marketer from way back. And again, he is a marketer and creator of Story School. And he pointed out that the user content is too how-to heavy and is penalized by social media algorithms. His advice is to focus on storytelling to build credibility and engagement. So yeah, there's a lot of people that just do how-to, step by step by step by step by step. And I don't know too much about algorithms, but what I do know is that that's the way they're all controlling what do you see next, what happens next on the platform. So his advice to Dennis was to focus on storytelling to build credibility and engagement. So impact of feedback and self-perception. So receiving feedback triggered self-doubt and imposter syndrome. Thoughts like, why am I even doing this arose, but the user chose to set aside ego and reflect constructively. So just, if you put in a negative comment on this post or on this video or this live, I'm going to cuss at you first. No, but I just got to take it with a grain of salt because I am trying to do something to help humanity. Anybody who goes out there and puts negative things down and without a reason or an explanation, Greg at least came from a point of, constructive criticism. And instead of going from how to, go to storytelling. And so, Dennis doesn't have to use it. He can take it and use it or not use it. But it was constructive feedback. And Dennis is good about taking feedback. And so, again, shifting content strategy, key takeaway, he's going to share more personal stories and real life experiences to build authority and trust. Use authentic photos and narratives rather than solely instructional content. Yeah, I mean, getting a book, y'all see my bookcase, it's full of how-tos and it's just like it's dry text, right? But when you get some stories going, then you feel like you can do it because we're always telling stories about how we fix problems, how we fix the pipe, fix the car, fix the problem, and this is going to help you do that. So introducing the story brand framework, this framework, and again, so one of the things I want to share with everybody. When I came from McAllen, the Lower Rio Grande Valley, there's so much stuff going on in the world, at universities, at think tanks, but there's certain patterns that happen for everybody. It doesn't matter if you have a PhD or not. And I think I've talked about this before. If you ever go read a book or get information on the hero's journey, and I'll show you this here in a minute because everybody relates to stories and everybody's a hero in their story. And that's the number one character everybody wants is me. And they want you to, everyone wants to succeed and make right choices and do things. And so the storyboard talks about how it's a 7-part structure: character, identify the customer and their goal, problem, clarify external, internal, and philosophical challenges. The guide, the brand shows empathy and authority. Plan, provide simple steps for action. Call to action, direct and transitional steps. Avoiding failure, so you have to highlight the risks of inaction. And success, show the positive transformation. Practical application for story brand for AI course. The user applied the framework to their AI course. He's a hero, non-tech savvy Gen Xers and boomers wanting to master AI. So that's what Dennis wants. Dennis wants to help Gen Xers that are not tech savvy and boomers that are wanting to master AI. And then his plan was a 90-day challenge with a 90-minute daily lesson and tangible outcomes. And then the outcome that comes out of this thing is going to be confidence, creativity, and practical AI applications in business. The only reason you may be hesitant is because you've never been aware of all this stuff that's going on. And so until you make yourself aware and know, hey, look, here's going to be a 90-day course for free where I can hang out with people that are trying to learn this AI thing, then, you're going to be stuck. But if you can say, no, I'll go with them and I'll learn, and I may miss some classes, but I'm going to try to I'm going to join the group and join the community. And that's the new way of learning. So, and then, what else is in here? Yeah, so it says here, balance the strategy with authenticity. First off, yeah, so the importance of solving real problems. The user emphasized creating AI solutions for real world inefficiencies, such as an app for pilots to automate flight schedule bids, a practical niche solution that could be highly valuable. You might have that idea that you could use AI to fix and figure. I think I told you guys this before when I told my brother, if you work in a company, your job is twofold: save the company money or make the company money. And if you can come up with an idea that now there's tools to make it easier so you can brainstorm and put that idea on paper, you could create something that could be highly valuable. And that's going to be good for you. That's going to be good for the country. That's going to be good for your company and your family. So it's a good thing. And then balancing strategy with authenticity. So while the storyboard framework is effective, the user feels it lacks personality and soul. Their goal is to develop software solutions without needing to be a guru or build public credibility just yet. Let me just read this final thought. Final thought: the focus is on practical solutions using AI to save time and eliminate tedious tasks while inviting feedback and collaboration from the community. And so what that's going to do for you is that when you tell it in a story, it's more receptive because you can go back and forth like telling a story. If I ask somebody, well, tell me about how you ended up in El Paso. Oh, so that's a story. So how did I end up in El Paso? I was born and raised in South Texas. At 21, I ended up in Houston, Texas. At what year was that? At 56, I got transferred. I got a job transfer over here. And like I said, I always thought job was a bust, but I fell in love with El Paso, the weather, the food, the mountains, the air, the blue skies, the very little rain, and for sure, no humidity. So it's great here. And again, so going back to what I was telling you about so then I said, so this sounds a lot like the hero's journey format. And so this is what I typed in here just to confirm am I thinking right? Does it sound like that? That's what they're doing? And then ChatGPT says, yes, you're absolutely right. I keep telling everybody I'm absolutely right. The story brand framework is heavily inspired by the hero's journey, a storytelling structure popularized by Joseph Campbell, and both the customer or protagonist embarks on a journey that follows a familiar arc. And I first heard about the hero's journey when I was in a creative writing course, and we had this book, and there was a guy that wrote the book, and he says that every movie from Disney follows this pattern. And once you understand it, you'll say, I see it. And you'll see that every day we're in our own little story, and we have things. We're on a hero's journey. We have something that we want. We don't know how we're going to get there, but we have to, go through obstacles and money problems and people problems and, go babysit grandkids, and that takes up the time. So there's always going to be a hero, us. We have a goal, and we start in the ordinary world, but feels a call to adventure. When I came from Houston to El Paso, that was like a call to adventure. I didn't know, I had my cousin out here and the job, and that was it. I didn't know anything else. For the past 40 years, I've been living in Houston. So I went on the call to adventure. And then problem and challenge arises. The hero faces internal and external conflicts that push them toward transformation. We're always transforming. You either stay the same or you're going around and transforming, 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 and you're growing. All those transformations are growth. So in the story brand, the customer faces external, internal, and philosophical problems, lack of knowledge, and internal feeling overwhelmed, philosophical. They deserve success. Um, you meet a guide, a mentor, a fixer. So in every story has a hero, and every story has a guide. And you see it like Yoda or Gandalf, who provide guidance and tool for success. We all have people that we can count on, or we can ask for guidance. You're not going through life alone. If you are, that's not a good thing. You need to, get connected with people that have other experiences where you can ask questions and keep learning. Okay. And then they receive a plan, steps for transformation. Everything I've ever done, it started out with an idea, dream, and I want to do this, and I went looking for the plan, and that has led to transformation along the way. And then call to action: the hero must take decisive action and step into the unknown, leaving their old life behind. That's the number. There is no number one secret of all this stuff, but you have to leave the known for the unknown, because that's where you're gonna use all your resources. That's where you're gonna use all your intelligences. That's where you're gonna see if you can make it or not make it. And so when I came to El Paso, like I said, I had the job, but then when they said, "Hey, this thing's not working out, do you want to go back to Houston?" I go, "For what?" In Houston, they had hurricanes and humidity. I don't have that here. I'd rather just, go ahead and start my retirement and early retire. And I just stayed here in El Paso to live life. And I found things to do. And so that's what I'm working on now. And what else here? And so ends in success with victory return. So the hero always wins in this journey. So, and you come back with newfound wisdom, power, or peace. So when you finish your journey, you're going to have new knowledge, new skills, new awareness, and that's what you want, because that means growth. That means you lived. That means you gave a value and you received value. So the difference is, with the hero's journey, is focused on personal transformation. The story brand focuses on customer empowerment. And so that's another thing. Again, why this matters: storytelling is ingrained in human psychology. Using the hero's journey format helps it mostly connect to their transformation story. So I think we are at, let me see here. I hope it didn't. Yeah. So we're at an hour and 24. So that means that I got 6 minutes. And in those 6 minutes, what I want to do is, I had started out the evening wanting to show you ChatGPT. But as you can see, ChatGPT and the material that I was using with ChatGPT kept leading me on to another part of the story and another part of the story. And again, the number one thing that makes us all unique is our story, because you don't have my experiences and I don't have your experiences. Now, we might have both been divorced and things like that, but again, those are different experiences. But you have to get out there and tell your story. I always tell people, I listen to stories from when I was well, I'm not going to go far back. I'll tell you a story. There was a guy, a girl in Houston, who was telling the story that she had earned her master's and her undergrad And she was a corporate accountant there, right? And she was telling me the story, and I go, and she goes, and I had to do it with two kids. And I go, two kids? Well, that's a big, makes a big ask, to do that. And she said, yeah, but I always dreamed about working in the office or in an office in a big building. And so she had the vision and she kept going. And so it's hard, but it can be done. So anybody who has that, uh, oh, I can't, it can't, that can't be me because I can probably find you a story that it can be you because, yeah, but you can't give up because there's a, that's a mind thing. If you give up, that's a mind thing. Nothing else. Nobody's telling you to quit. If you quit, it's because you said to quit. You told yourself to quit. And so, anyway, so this has been 90 minutes of showing you what I'm doing with ChatGPT and how I'm going to be using it in the future. I'm going to put together a guide from this talk so that I can give to you. If you want that guide, let me know, send me a message, and I'll give you that guide as soon as it's available. And it's quick. I mean, I just got to take it from here and I'll put it in a PDF and I'll make some minor changes and I'll send it to you. So if be on the lookout for the next episode, my next 90-minute episode here. I'm trying to decide whether to do it on YouTube or on Facebook. Um, I like both, but if I want to create this into a video, I got to make sure that I can easily transfer it from here over to YouTube. So I'll work on that. But so anyway, have a good evening. Let me see here. I want to do my 90 minutes. What's my 90 minutes? I'll work on that. But so anyway, have a good evening. Let's see here. I want to do my 90 minutes. What's my 90 minutes? Hold on. See, there was a question there. So, and so there was somebody that did a question. Are you able to create PowerPoint presentations? That's a good question. Let's just do this. Create a PowerPoint presentation on this chat. So, and what it does, and Donald, I hope you're out there. If not, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. You can tell it, yeah, so it's analyzing my request. And sometimes you got to give it a little bit because I didn't tell it, 10 pages, 15 pages or whatever. Let's see what it does here. So the story brand framework presentation. So it's downloading the file. Where is it? Save. And there it is. So I got my Facebook over here. So it's you're a little couple steps behind, but here comes the PowerPoint I created. So let's see. Now, I've never done a PowerPoint, so let's see what we get out of this output. So it's a basic PowerPoint presentation. I still have to fill in the backgrounds and stuff, but it does have the main points that I spoke about and that it told me about. And that's pretty cool because now we can And I'm gonna put a like here. And I'll put here. Yes. So, again, if, yes, I did it. So, yes, thank you, Donald Cunningham, a local financial advisor here in El Paso. Um, and that's it. So that's my 90 minutes of sharing. And and I hope you got something out of it. And if there's any questions that I can answer for you, please reach out to me, DM me on Facebook or Messenger. And you guys have a good evening and we'll talk tomorrow. All right? Take care. Bye.